Go. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a 2023 List Week installment. It's 2023, the end of the year, and we are going over the best and worst of the year. In this video, it is EPs. Shorter, little, miniature, mini, tiny, eensy-weensy, teensy.
Little baby, wavy.
Not albums, not bigger releases, EPs. And there were at least 15 of them this year that I thought were quite good, so I have listed them here, going all the way up to my favorite EP of the year. And with that, let's go. First off, at number 15, it is going to be this new June McDoom EP with strings. Very subtle, delicate, beautiful, tons of harps, tons of, well, strings. A very elegant batch of songs that I think you guys will be allured by. At number 14, it is the surreal and strange new EP from Spirit of the BEEHIVE, I'm So Lucky. Then at 13, the couple of new EPs from rapper/producer The Alchemist, his Flying High projects, which see him kind of getting back on the mic more, making some great beats and doing some great crossovers with some talented rappers and artists. At number 12, it is the new split between Chat Pile and Nerver, Brothers in Christ. That thing is noisy and heavy and abrasive in the best way possible. Then at 11, that is going to be Japanese Korean pop singer and songwriter YUKIKA with Time-Lapse, which is supposed to be her final project and is a pretty groovy, lush set of classic city pop covers that are incredibly well done. Moving further up the list at number 10 is going to be Angel Olsen with Forever Means, a heart-wrenching series of afterthoughts from her latest full-length LP. Obviously not her grandest project to date, but if you're looking for something that's going to smack you in the feels for a short period of time, this is it. At number 9, we have an EP that hails from Poland. That would be, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Franek, Warzywa, and Młody Budda, their Wykopki EP. I don't know a lot about these artists, to be completely honest, as there is obviously for me a bit of a language barrier, but this EP of songs is a super zany, crazy, off-the-wall, entertaining batch of weird internet pop songs and sometimes math rock. It is absurd and oddly catchy. At number 8, that is going to be Nia Archives with Sunrise Bang Your Head Against the Wall. Nia is a UK artist, singer, songwriter, producer, whose new project here really took me by surprise and has me excited for big things from her hopefully in 2024. The build of this EP is simple, but it works so well. We have some strong tunes that are written and sung in kind of a neo-soul style, but rhythmically we have a crazy, chaotic drum and bass and jungle backbone. It is a classic but well-executed juxtaposition that has me excited to hear this stuff coming back, and coming back hard, not just through Nia, but also artists such as Pink Pantheress, stuff like that. At number 7, it is the series of EPs and singles that's been getting dropped by none other than Quadeca, Scrapyard 1, Scrapyard 2, Scrapyard 3. Quadeca, singer, rapper, songwriter, producer, has been having quite the artistic transition as of late. His last record was quite the hit with the underground crowd, and seemingly these recent spurts of extra material feel like they are possibly extras from that record or stuff he's been making that wouldn't necessarily fit on that album or maybe another to come in the future. Either way, these tracks, while many of them very short, do show Quadeca's creative side as he blends splashes of lo-fi, singer-songwriter music, hip-hop, as well as fuzzy, emo bedroom pop. Either way, it's a great collection of songs that show Quadeca has a lot to offer even when it's pretty much cutting room floor stuff. Following this at number 6, it is going to be Haru Nemuri with INSAINT. Japan's Haru Nemuri is back with a really powerful, heavy, fast-paced and intense set of rock songs with explosive math rock and post-hardcore guitars. It is a tight, punchy set of tracks that kind of cut away the extra genre fusions that she typically involves herself in, and shows that she is still a very exciting and compelling writer, performer, and vocalist, even when not dabbling in all of these different styles or strange or experimental transitions. When doing more of a direct rock thing, she still kicks ass. Okay, getting to the top 5 time. Next, we're going with Geese 4D Country. If you guys have been following my channel, you know that Geese is one of the most exciting and interesting rock bands to drop as of late. Love their old school sound. They are like a bizarre, goofy, out there combination of The Doors and like a couple of other things that I have a hard time putting my finger on. If there were any justice in this world, all of the streams and attention going to throwback bands such as Greta Van Fleet would actually be going to Geese instead. And I feel like the proof of that is proven in the fact that we have this extra EP of material here, leftovers from their record 3D Country, and it's all just as good and as fire as the core album stuff, including the 4D Country track, which is really just like a jammy extension of the title song from the original record. But yeah, the band's performances instrumentally are absolutely killer. Their vocalist is totally unhinged and amazing, super talented. Love the flashes of not just hard rock, old school hard rock, but also blues and soul that come up in their music too. And it all manifests in a way that is strange and completely out there, but also passionate, undeniably good, catchy, as well as enthralling. And yeah, that is the magic of Geese to me and 4D Country. At number 4, that is going to be the JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown Scaring the Hose DLC pack, as Peggy and Danny saw fit to drop some extra cuts from their recent record Scaring the Hose, Volume 1. Massive success for the both of them. The record even charted, handily one of the best hip-hop records of the year, and to come from it, one of the best EPs, or, you know, extra collections of tracks of the year. It is every bit as much as aggressive and colorful and experimental and wild and full of character as anything off of the original Scaring the Hose record. Some of the production on this thing is amazing. That little a cappella verse from Danny toward the end of the project is mind-blowing too. I just love that there was so much fire to come out of this creative session that even the extra bits here are stellar. Next on the list, that is going to be the band Maruja with Knocknarea. These guys are a UK rock outfit that brings elements of art rock and post-rock and experimental rock. There have been a lot of bands coming out of that area these days that have been coming out with some very lengthy and fire and abstract stuff, be that Black Midi, be that Black Country New Road, and Maruja is a band that I most definitely think will appeal to that same crowd. Oh, and how can I also forget Ashenspire from Scotland? They're super fire too. But yeah, if you're looking for very linear, fiery, intense rock songs with lots of dynamic guitars, saxophone, and a host of other things, this EP from Maruja is going to absolutely blow you away. And this is their latest release. They haven't dropped a full-length album yet, and if they're sounding this freaking good and powerful on an EP, I can only imagine how the eventual album is going to shape up. At number 2, I am going to place the Hemlock Springs project, Going Going Gone, which is one of my favorite pop releases of the year. Hemlock Springs, if you're unfamiliar, is a wonderful singer, songwriter, producer who had some tracks pop off on TikTok this year. And her sound is very punchy and modern, very left field, very zany, but also has some very strong roots in 80s pop and synth pop, some very eccentric and creative lyrics and lead vocals too. Few pop singles this year came across to me as youthful and as vibrant and as fun as the stuff that Hemlock Springs was coming out with. And this EP confirmed a lot of things about her in terms of her capabilities as a producer and a songwriter, and all I can do is sit here just waiting with bated breath for the eventual album. The track list and length of the EP too is actually pretty satisfying as well, but it's just enough to make me feel like, okay, that was fire, that was good, now I'm just like pumped. I'm pumped for the entire record now. And then finally at number 1, I'm going to place Alice Longyu Gao's Let's Hope Heteros Fail, Learn, and Retire. Alice, hands down, pretty much made my favorite EP of the year. And what's funny is that I knew this thing was going to be my EP of the year the month that I heard it. Alice's fusions of alternative metal and J-pop and hyperpop and trap and rap and just pop generally on this thing are fun, are chaotic, are incredibly eclectic and boundary pushing. Many talk about the hyperpop wave that came and went in the early 2020s, and look, a lot of that stuff died out for good reason because it became so deeply self-referential and was kind of chasing its own tail after a while. But Alice is one of the few artists out there who I think in a lot of ways has genuinely stuck to this sound, but has actually progressed it creatively in such a way to where it doesn't really feel like, you know, what initially made that genre pop off in the way that it did in 2020. This feels like, you know, hyper pop, hyper rock, hyper a lot of things version 2.0 with these absolutely insane and unhinged aesthetic and genre mashups as we jump from sound to sound to sound within a single song. And what's actually incredible about the chaos of these tracks is that Alice is able to pack so much into just several minutes of music, and yet it all ends up so cohesive and catchy, not just from a traditional songwriting structure standpoint, but also in terms of like what she's trying to get across lyrically on a lot of these tracks too. Despite all of the sonic mayhem, there's actually a lot of skill and focus and finesse that is required in pulling off the subtle and crazy production ideas and techniques that Alice is pulling off on this record, which for me makes it the most daring pop release of the year, even if it is just an EP. And also for an EP for something this short, it is very satisfying. Somehow it does feel like she's packed maybe 40 minutes of music in just 20 minutes of music. And hopefully 2024 and 2025 see her dropping more stuff, putting out an album at some point, because this is absolutely fire, and everything that I was kind of hoping she could possibly achieve creatively when I was initially enjoying some of her earlier singles like Rich Bitch Juice. And that is it. That is my top 15 EPs of 2023. Thank you for watching. Every project I talked about is going to be linked down below so you can check them out for yourselves. I will see you guys in the next one. Anthony Fantano, List Week 2023, forever.